Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Joy Gym, where we practice different mental exercises to help us cultivate a greater sense of joy. We do this mainly through a guided breathing exercise and a guided meditation. The guided every day of the week. Today is Thursday, Thankful Thursday. So we'll be doing a guided meditation all around gratitude. Let's see, is there anything else to note today? No. Let us then talk a bit about gratitude. We'll jump into the guided breathing exercise. We'll do the guided meditation and be on our way. So, gratitude, as defined by Jeff Warren, a prominent meditation teacher here in the West, he says that gratitude is a habit, one of the best a human being can cultivate. The more we practice it, the better our overall mood, better our health, and the greater our capacity to be with things that are difficult. The thing I really love about that, we were paraphrasing there, but the thing that I really love about that definition is that he calls gratitude a habit. And I really love that reframe. I think with states like gratitude, joy, acceptance, love, I love the concept of a habit. That means it's one that we can strengthen. It's ones if we have opposites, like maybe when it comes to fear, anxiety, anger, we can almost see those emotional states as habits as well. It is one that with time we can make that habit, have it happen more often, have it happen more intensely. And for other states, it's one that we can break that habit. The one thing I want to note though is when it comes to mindfulness, we're not trying to control our emotional states per se, because trying to control our emotional states would involve a form of resistance. And one of my favorite quotes from Chris Germer and Kristen Neff from Mindful Self Compassion is that when you resist emotions, they go to the basement and lift weights. So, with this, with practicing gratitude, we are not trying to necessarily resist or change or control our emotions. We are simply training our brain to have a new default setting, one that naturally defaults to gratitude, but will still have open, accepting awareness to whatever arises. So, we will practice gratitude today by simply thinking of things that we appreciate, things that made us feel good, things that we are grateful for. And by doing that, by thinking of those things, we are practicing our ability to one, be aware of them, because sometimes the things that make us feel good, we don't even know. Like, for example, through practicing gratitude, realize I love the feeling of warm water running through my hands when I'm washing them. Never would have known that. And two, it allows us to be more present with these things that make us feel good when they happen, which, in my experience, and I've heard from others, can lead to enjoying it more. It's one thing when you're eating, imagine if you were eating your favorite meal, but you were on the phone or like your mind was somewhere else. You may inhale that thing and not even remember that, really not remember much of it. Now imagine if you're eating your favorite meal and you are fully in the moment, savoring every bite, savoring every moment, noticing the temperature, the texture, all that aspect. At least in my experience, it leads to a much better experience of eating. It's the same concept here with gratitude. Once we're aware of the things we're grateful of, we have greater capacity, greater space to be there with those, or to be more present when those things arise in our lives. So that is what we will be doing today. Let me hit my trusty sound bowl 3 times and let's begin. Well, hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining in our guided meditation today. We shall begin with a guided breathing exercise. To do this, I'd like to invite you to find a comfortable position, preferably one where your spine is erect but not rigid. If you have not done so already, I'd like to invite you to close your eyes or lower your gaze. Excuse me. If it is safe to do so, and if you feel safe doing so. For today's guided breathing exercise, I'd like to invite you to breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds and breathe out through your nose for 6 seconds. This act of breathing in for 40% of the time, or 4 seconds, and breathing out for 60% of the time, or 6 seconds, I learned from the Breathwork guided breathing exercise app. It's been really effective in helping to calm, settle my nervous system, and have a greater sense of centered and groundedness. The I will keep count, giving a suggestion of when to breathe in and when to breathe out. But please note that this is simply a suggestion. If you'd rather do a different guided breathing exercise, make modifications to this guided breathing exercise, or stop altogether because you're finding it could be activating difficult emotions or thoughts, that is perfectly okay. I'd love to offer this space the opportunity for you to practice giving yourself what you need in this moment. For those of you who would like to breathe in time with me, I'd like to invite you to breathe the air out of your lungs and breathe in nose, out nose. In nose, out nose. In nose, out nose. In nose, out nose. And last time, in nose, out nose. When you are satisfied with the amount of deep breaths you have taken, I'd like to invite you to return your breathing to its natural state. However you breathe when you're not trying to change or influence your breath in any way. To begin today's guided meditation, I'd like to invite you to think back to something that happened throughout the week that made you feel good. Maybe you saw a TV show that made you smile. Maybe you achieved a big accomplishment you had been hoping for. Maybe you got a few extra moments to stay in bed a bit longer. With this practice, we are slowly building our appreciation muscle. We are slowly getting better at our ability to notice what it is that makes us feel good and eventually be more present as we experience these things. Gratitude meditation can be very effective in helping us notice all the things that make us feel good, even if those things that we think of throughout the meditation get smaller and smaller. Maybe you had a chance to take a nice walk. Maybe you saw a pretty flower or a nice scene outside. Maybe you had a chance to talk to someone who you hadn't caught up with in a while. As you think of these things that made you feel good, I'd like to invite you to see if you can incorporate different senses of the five senses as you bring up a memory. For example, maybe you remembered a meal that made you smile, that made you feel good. What did it taste like? What did it smell? What did it feel like? What did it look like? Were there any sounds? The more we can incorporate our senses as we practice gratitude, the more clear the memory may come in our head, and the more it's like we can get a mini hit of those good feelings all over again. As I do this practice, I'd like to invite, as we do this practice, I'd like to invite you a moment to offer thanks to whoever makes the most sense. Maybe if you're thinking of a meal that made you feel good, you're thanking of the person who prepared the meal or the people who helped make the ingredients. Maybe you're just thanking existence, the sheer fact that you can enjoy it. Like, oh yeah, that memory. That was a great one. Thank you. Thank you for that. We're practicing our appreciation by simply remembering what's happened throughout the week that made us feel good and offering thanks to whoever or whatever makes the most sense. When you are ready, I'd like to invite you to let go of this practice. When you are ready, you may slowly flutter your eyes open and look around the room to better ground yourself in the space that you are in. Thank you all so much for joining this guided meditation practice. You did a great job today, and keep up the good work. And that concludes our guided meditation for the day. Today, we practice gratitude, which we talked about and defined at the beginning as a habit, one that is one of the best a human being can cultivate. We practice gratitude by simply thinking of things that happened throughout the week that made us feel good, and then offering thanks to whoever or whatever made the most sense in that moment. We also practice connecting to our different senses. So if we had a meal, all the five senses associated with that meal that made us feel good. Anything else to note? No, not now. We are going to have quite a few announcements coming in the next few weeks, mainly through LinkedIn. So if you can, make sure to follow us there at Jamal Washington, CPC. There's a lot of Jamal Washingtons out there. So the comma CPC is how you can differentiate. That is my certified professional coach. So you all know. So that's Jamal Washington, CPC on LinkedIn. You can follow our Joy Gym, like it's ours, on your YouTube channel, where we post everything that we do here on live streams. And then, as always, you can follow us on Clubhouse, where we started back in December of 2022 and are still going strong 20 months later. Anything else to note for now? We will be ending the Clubhouse room around the same time we'll be ending the LinkedIn and YouTube live stream. There are some things I need to go and I'll call them back. There are some things I need to go and handle before today. So unfortunately, we can't have a longer conversation like we normally do. But for both Clubhouse and for everyone here on LinkedIn and YouTube, thank you all so much for coming. I love you all, and may you find ease. Bye.